So a broken clock can be right? But sometimes you got to question that broken clock. Like, oh, I forgot that its face looked like this. And a surprising turn of events that has me laughing is none other than my favorite dime store M&M. Kyle Kulinski just endorsed Jill Stein. And you know what? Hey, fine. Look, obviously this election cycle, there's a lot of disappointments here, okay? And look, I save my disappointments. I think I've been a little bit reasonable with my disappointments towards third parties and independents. I think while they are becoming headliners, they are getting their names out there, they could have done a hell of a better job prepping up for 2024. Okay, this goes for all the independent candidates. This goes for all third parties. Okay, I think really their missed opportunity was capitalizing off everything in 2016, and they literally crapped the bed. But Kyle Kulinski decides to endorse Jill Stein after for a long time scolding third party activists for years. So Kyle, put your big boy pants on, and you're supporting third parties. Kyle, baby, take it away, man. And I'm happy for this. I'm actually a little bit happy for this because it's funny to me.
5% for the Green Party. Is that what it is? So that you can get matching funds and make it more viable. But again, I hate to tell you, the Green Party and no third party will be viable unless and until we get ranked choice voting.
Wow. Now that's Kyle before talking down to third party people.
What do you think you're doing here? Like, what do you think you're doing here? Do you actually think you can win? Because you can't.
If you get rid of first past the post voting and you do ranked choice voting and you get it tomorrow, I would literally be like a Green Party cheerleader. I would become like an evangelist for them. Because then, like, it is.
Okay. Now I know my audience is better than this. Who taught my audience to be so mean? And I better not see in the comments section. We learned it from you, Kit. We learned it from watching you. Kyle's mammy, who looks shockingly familiar. Who could that be? Well, we can't grift on backing Democrats anymore. It's too unpopular. Kyle's mammy. What? How do my audience get so brutal? Why is my audience so mean? I know I didn't teach any of you that. Kyle, take it away while we can't have third parties again.
Voting and you do ranked choice voting and you get it tomorrow, I would literally be like a Green Party cheerleader. I would become like an evangelist for them. Because then, like, then you are, by definition, you're serious. And so, but if you do ranked choice voting and get rid of first past post voting, then you immediately get rid of any objection to having an independent candidate or a third party candidate. And then I genuinely think overnight, the Green Party becomes more viable. The Libertarian Party becomes more viable. You could come up with some new party. You could run as an independent, and that would become more viable. So I guess my frustration is in this discussion, everybody always puts the cart before the horse.
Jill Stein was not a spoiler. It is not those voters' fault who voted for you, like you guys that voted for Jill Stein.
But she got blamed anyway.
But she got blamed.
And then the left was further marginalized as a result of it.
So I don't see the connection. And I see a much more direct connection between protecting the Biden National Labor Relations Board and allowing this little budding, exciting, amazing, potentially transformational labor movement to actually grow. Whereas if Trump gets reelected, which is, listen, it's the...
Boy, she's going to bat hard for the Democrats. Ha! Don't worry. The great spicy meatball is coming soon. But I remember how they were hyping up Marianne Williamson. Remember when they were on the Marianne train? Choo-choo. By the way, whatever happened to Marianne? Remember? Because I actually forgot. I actually should have looked this up, actually. But, because Marianne Williamson was so forgetful. Remember when she dropped out of the race and then re-entered the race? Did anybody care? Yeah, everybody fell asleep. Marianne ain't going to like your change of heart. She officiated both y'all's weddings. What the hell?
In fact, based on how the Democratic Party is going to respond to Cornel West's election bid, it is more likely that Donald Trump gets elected with Cornel West in the race. And that, to me, is a massive loss because we know what his record is. We know what his National Labor Relations Board was. We know who his labor secretaries were and how they were engaged in all this union busting. And so I see a much more direct connection between that moving the ball in our direction than, Cornel West getting 5% and either his candidacy not really mattering.
Again, why is my audience so brutal? Lawrence Johnson, don't argue with her, Kyle. She will cut you off. And make sure you don't get that extra juice box. Oh, that's tamed what I'm seeing here. Jesus. Sounds like Kyle's running low on drywall and Monster Energy drinks. Everyone, why is my audience being so brutal? Dabby Dabs writes, White Gladys wrecked Marianne Williamson's yacht. All right, we rewind that again. Sorry, folks.
Trump gets reelected, which is, listen, it's the fact. Based on how the Democratic Party is going to respond to Cornel West's election bid, it is more likely that Donald Trump gets elected with Cornel West in the race. And that, to me, is a massive loss because we know what his record is. We know what his National Labor Relations Board was. We know who his labor secretaries were and how they were engaged in all this union busting. And so I see a much more direct connection between that moving the ball in our direction than, Cornel West getting 5% and either his candidacy not really mattering at all or being used once again to, smear the left and marginalize the left and say these are just the people that are interested in getting Trump elected.
So again, I want to wish Jill.
Wah, 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 wah. By the way, again, shout out to Indie News Network who put together this great collab. So, yes, again, folks, remember, Indie News put this together, okay? So, shout out to them.
Smear the left and marginalize the left and say these are just the people that are interested in getting Trump elected.
So again, I want to wish Jill a very, very happy birthday. I want her to know that she has my support. I think she's very brave for running in this environment, in this climate. And look, bottom line is there is one candidate in this race who is both on the ballot and anti-war. And we all know who that is.
Marianne Williamson?
Yes. Donald Trump likes to pretend he's anti-war. He's not. Sometimes Biden likes to pretend he's anti-war. He's clearly not. He's arming and funding a genocide right now. Cornel West, I'm not sure he's going to get on that many ballots. And RFK, don't get me started. This is a guy who pretends like he's the most anti-war, but he's also in favor of Netanyahu committing a genocide and us arming and funding it. And he completely dehumanizes Palestinians on a regular basis. So from where I'm sitting, from my perspective, there's one candidate in this race that's doing the right thing and standing on the right issues. And, look, fighting for it at a time that's important historically where nobody else is stepping up and doing the right thing. And so, again, very happy birthday to Jill Stein. Sorry I couldn't be there with you guys today, but I'm there with you in spirit. And Jill, we wish the best for you moving forward.
You weren't saying that before, Kyle. Kyle, you were talking down to us third-party people. But you know what? Fine. Great. Whatever. Look, I have my criticism for Jill Stein and the Greens as well. I think they did a piss-poor operation. The national movement going forward, okay? They really should have had a more solid plan, all right? And when it comes down to this whole process, even right now, including with Dr. Cornel West, I mean, I don't know what he's doing or who he's associating himself with for his campaign run, but clearly it's a waste of time. But I for one, find this change of tone refreshing because I think, the evidence is abundantly clear that Biden and the Democrats, they're losing voters, okay? Look at the Democratic primary, folks. You had Dean Phillips, you had Marianne Williamson, and Fat Tony, a.k.a. Cenk Uygur, okay? You had people who weren't serious. You had people who were running in a party that told them not to run at all because Biden was going to be their guy. That's it. Simple as that. 1, 2, 3. This isn't open up for a conversation. Biden was going to become the nominee. Okay? That's just how it was going to go down. So, in order to, I guess, still latch on and get them views, you got to go where the people are flocking to, and that is the independents, third parties. Now, I don't know what this could mean in the future. Maybe it's an extra boost for Jill Stein's numbers, and I, for one, do welcome that. But never forget all those people who were talking down the third parties, because an action is taking place here. Of movement is starting to grow. Now, ideally, I would like to see third parties win and win bigly, to quote Trump, during this election cycle. I would like to see, ideally, I don't see this happening though, third parties or independents securing electoral college votes. That would be great. But perhaps this is the election cycle where people get involved and get ready. But beware of those who will latch on, who were never talking about third parties or independents. We here at Hard Lens Media, we've been encouraging people to support independents and third parties, to support citizen ballot initiatives. Just beware of those who are now starting to jump on the boat. I, for one, applaud this, but I have a raised eyebrow. And according to Jill Stein, and I'm still having it up there, these two need to get off my nuts. My audience. Why are you so brutal? Who did you learn this from? And why?